1.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the parlay pounder.
You're right. We're back.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And how about Jake Bartecki?
That was awesome.
Our Chicago native. Got him on there to talk about a Chicago NASCAR street race.
And he's going to be there.
And yeah, he's going to be there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool that he gave old Mom a shout out, too.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Mom, I couldn't be.
Yeah.
On Michigan Avenue, too.
That's all of us, yeah.
That's pretty darn cool.
Shout out to Mom.
Yep. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. All right, now you wanted to get into something a little wild here.
Yeah, for sure.
In Major League Baseball,
Yeah.
You want to talk about some team futures and some teams that are currently on the outside looking in, but you still think can maybe make the playoffs or win their division.
Yeah, for sure. Most all of these are going to be wild card plays, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
These teams are just knocking on the door of the wild card that still have a chance to make the playoffs with really good odds right now. So that's what I want to look into on this segment. Yeah.
Teams making the playoffs.
Teams to make the playoffs.
Just to make the playoffs. And you want to start with the Bo Sox.
Yeah, we got to start with the Boston
Red Sox. And that's at a yes, they are at a plus 450, or a no, they're not going to make it at a minus 650. That almost tells me everything I need to know right there.
Yes, that is pretty crazy of a line right there for the minus 650. Obviously, there's no value in that. You're not going to bet on them not to make the playoffs because it's a formality that they're not going to make it right now.
They're fifth in their division.
They're fifth in their division, Andy, but where they can make it is into one of these three wild card spots. They're only 3.5 games out of the wild card right now, Andy, to make it in. And, just the way that they've been kind of trending the last couple of weeks, Andy, I really think that they can, ground out some wins. They've beaten the Yankees. They've beaten the Twins. They've been, in most cases, they have beaten some pretty good, talented teams, and it seems like they're getting healthy. Rafael Devers, like you were talking about earlier, 18 home runs, 60 runs batted in, very good player, one of the best third basemen in baseball. Yep. And Alex Verdugo is hitting for a good, clean 300 right now. So they got players that can do this, Andy.
Hey, my boy Turner's turning it on in fantasy.
No doubt.
He's doing really well. Spelling Devers at third base, but then also playing a lot of first base and DH. He's turned a corner.
Exactly, Andy. And so if Chris Sale can really put in some really, really good innings for them and get them a few more wins, sitting 3.5 games back for a plus 450 value, I really think it's a good play right now. Not to throw a whole bunch of cash on it, but the Boston Red Sox are only 3.5 games out of the wild card to make the playoffs, and that is very good value, Andy. So, it's at plus 450, and it's never going to get better than this right now.
Sure.
It's not going to get. If they start winning games, that value is going to go down. So what I'm saying is it's a good look right now to bet on them because they have the pieces to do it.
I mean, as we're recording, they're 40-40. They're straight up at 500. With that, they would still be a game and a half in the lead in the Central Division. Pretty wild where they're at, and that's why they're only 3.5 games back of that wild card spot.
Yeah, Andy, and if we're going to start talking about the AL Central, I'll take my leave because my Twins are at top of the division. And we're 2 games behind 500. So, the Central is not looking good, but the AL Beast is the best in baseball.
Looking really good, as we kind of predicted in our preseason show with old Matt Plotchek. Yep. Shout out Bobcats. All right, let's move on down the list a little bit. I think this is a little bit safer play, a little bit better play, something I might feel a little bit better about. That is the Los Angeles Angels. They're back to being the LA Angels. They're not the Anaheim or the California Angels. They're back to LA, and they're at a plus 145 to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Andy, and I really do think this is a good play. They're sitting in a wild card spot right now, so they are in the playoffs as of today, sitting at 44-37, which
they're 5 games back in the Western Division.
Exactly. So they still have an outside chance of doing that. I would like them to add maybe a pitcher or two at the trade deadline or something to help out Shohei a little bit, but they are pretty stocked with their money already with the likes of Rendon, Trout, Ohtani, all this money already being spent. So I really do think that they're going to make a playoffs and make a push this year because they're running out of years with Shohei and obviously with Mike Trout prime years.
This is it.
This is it. If they're going to win, it has to be now. So I really do like them to make the playoffs. And the way that Shohei Ohtani is playing right now, it is crazy. Like we were saying before we hopped on this, Andy, he's leading the Anaheim or the Los Angeles Angels in all three categories of batting 304, 28 home runs, 64 runs batted in all three categories in pitching. 302 earned run average, 7 wins, and 127 strikeouts. The game that we just watched last night or the night before, he had 10 strikeouts and 2 home runs is all.
2 home runs as the DH, and I think he only had 2 walks. 10 strikeouts and 2 walks.
Yep, and buried the White Sox.
What he's doing is mind-blowing. I mean, I can't overstate it enough. Most guys are just pitchers or they're just position players.
Yep.
Or they're even so far down as I'm just a hitter. I'm just a DH.
I'm just a DH.
I sit here and I bat 5 times a night. That's all I do.
Yeah.
This guy is leading his team in 6 of the top 6 categories, pitching and hitting. It is unbelievable.
It really
what
is.
He's doing. The MVP, just give it to him now. I don't want anything goofy.
Take the trophy up to him right now.
I don't want Aaron Judge to hit 4 home runs in a game and then we give it to him again.
No, can't happen.
Don't do that. Just give it to Ohtani right now.
Yep, I agree.
All righty. Should we talk about another team that a lot of our listeners always keep their eye on?
You have to.
And I don't want to call them the lovable losers. They got that monkey off their back. They have their World Series. We're talking about the Chicago Cubs. I don't know. Where are you at with the Cubs on this one?
Yeah, so anyways, the line, Andy,
plus
is
360.
Plus 360. So it's not as bad a line as the Red Sox. So the bookmakers do think they have a better chance of making the playoffs. Like we say, and we didn't want to talk about Central teams, but we're going to the National League Central, which is a little better, but not very much.
No.
They're sitting. The thing that I don't really like about this bet, Andy, is they're 6.5 games out of the wild card.
They're 3.5 though out of their division.
Yes,
that's where they can do it.
That's where it flips.
Yeah.
So. I really just don't think that they have the roster to do this year. But looking at, the NL Central, somebody's got to do it. I don't think the Reds are going to keep up this pace that they're playing right now, but I do believe, we were talking about it earlier in our pre-show, pre-MLB show, talking about the Brewers a little bit, and we thought the Cardinals might make a move. Cardinals aren't making a move. Cardinals aren't making a move. So I really do think the Chicago Cubs have a chance to win this division, but that's the only way that they're making the playoffs.
And it's not going to be the Chicago Sausage King Abe Froman we're going to be talking about. It's going to be Marcus Stroman, who is leading them in earned run average at a sub-3. I love that, a 2.47, 9 wins on the season, and he has 85 strikeouts. Marcus Stroman is hurling the ball, and if you got an ace like that, a guy that's just kind of not a guaranteed win, but every time he takes the mound, you have a really good chance to come out with the win.
And they really do kind of have a pretty good rotation with Kyle Hendricks and Jameson Taillon and Drew Smyly. So they do have a good rotation, Andy. What I'm really looking at with the Cubs is if Cody Bellinger, their shiny new piece that they got this year, can really step into that, MVP for the Cubs type situation. Yeah. And then their right fielder Suzuki, can he get back from injury and get on kind of the role that he got them on last year when he came through? So I really look at those 2 players to make this jump if they're going to make this jump, but they are definitely a good outside chance to take down this NL Central. So
that's what they're going to have to do.
That's what they're going to have to do.
And Bellinger was hurt. But it must not be serious?
No, he's back. He's good. It's just Suzuki and him are day-to-day most of the time just because they don't want to overextend and lose him for the season and stuff. So I really do like the Cubs maybe to win this division, but that is the only shot that they have because this wild card looks really, really stacked in the NL.
I mean, you're looking at even the Diamondbacks already have 48 wins on the season. The Giants are right there behind them with 45.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers They're third place in the Western Division. They have two more wins than the best team in the Central.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're not getting the wild card. You got to win your division.
You got to win the division. Yeah, because like you said, even the Marlins, the Dodgers, the Giants all have 45 wins. So it's pretty crazy how the NL wild card's shaping up, and a lot of fun in the American League too. So it's just a couple. I just like those plays. Those are some that I got my eye on right now, especially with the Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah, I do like the LA Angels. Out of those three, that's the one I like the most at that plus 145.
For sure.
Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.